back. So it's been a while since I gave you a video. I've been doing a lot more lives. Make sure you are subscribed and that you hit the notification bell so that you are aware of whenever I go live. And I wanted to bring you guys a video that I've been kind of teasing you about for a little bit here. If you're not new here, you're aware that I have a dog that's trying to sabotage my YouTube career with her pitter patter. Get going. All right, bye. Bye, Cersei. Bye. I love you. Bye. Bye. Get out of here. Mwah. Get going. Anyways, she actually left. There's no way that I could give you all of the lessons that it would take for you to take your voice from wherever you are to wherever you want to be without more specific courses and skill training. But I can give you a basic format, outline, understanding of what you're doing and what you need to work on to get to where you want to be. This video is for all of my leveled up, hypergamy, divest chicks, definitely. And also it's for people who just want to maybe practice speaking in more of a way that they envisioned themselves speaking. So I've played animated characters and I've done voiceovers for commercials, etc. And I've studied the art and technique to doing this. And that's why I know that it's something that everybody can learn. This is something that people, when they talk about rebranding, right? When they talk about professionalism courses and etiquette courses, right? We talk about how we present to the world, right? So I think that we are all at a level, at a place of understanding that we understand that people judge us based off of surface details, right? I think that we are all at that understanding, right? It would be nice if when people met you, they judged you based off what's inside and your spirit and your good intentions, right? But that's not the case, right? I think we're at the place where we can understand that, right? Okay, so understanding that, what you first have to do is observe yourself. And this is also a part of a lot of the work that I do here, talking about unpacking and healing. You have to be very introspective and not in a selfish critiquing way, right? But really just to observe what it is that's going on. Where are you starting from? What can you work on to get to where you want to be? First thing you have to do in that is be truthful about where you are when it comes to what you sound like. In this video, I'm going to focus on two main things that any singer knows, and I'm sure people have mentioned a lot and you've heard of, but you don't quite understand what it is, right? The two things that we're going to be focusing on are your chest voice, which is the voice right here where I'm speaking, and your head voice, which is up here, right? So you can have two voices, basically. And that is a technique. It's not something that makes you phony or fake. It's a technique that people use. Now I'm gonna go back into my chest voice because that's where I like to be, right? But there's also places you can go where you're accessing the head voice and the chest voice, right? And you can hear both. And you can work with both, and you're not limited to just one area. But I think if you have a basic understanding of chest voice, this is when my voice is sitting here in the chest, and it depends on your level of comfortability. A lot of women are more comfortable in a head voice because they're used to speaking high and soft, and they've been kind of indoctrinated to believe that they have to present that way, or a lot of women in their family speak in a very high voice. And some women do that naturally, right? I grew up around women who had more lower voices. That's a beautiful thing about Black culture. You know, we have some very big characters in Black culture, right? We have Michelle A,
who has that voice that's like really up here. It's really up here.
No, I'm looking for amethyst. Evidence of what?
Of her living there because they say she did it.
Well, clearly she does.
People will say, oh, is it fake? Is it fake? If it's fake, then she has a very high voice to begin with. And she's accentuating that.
But I don't think that it's fake because she's speaking really up here at a
very high place in the head that is extremely difficult to maintain if it's coming from a place of phoniness or falseness, right? So I do believe that Michelle's voice is her real voice. We have those colors, but we also have, of course, our Viola Davis, right?
And let me tell you something. The only thing that separates women of color from anyone else is opportunity.
And women who just have lower, more sensual voices. I prefer my lower voice, okay? I worked really hard to get to a place where I'm comfortable with, and I prefer my chest voice for myself when I'm speaking to people I like or people I care about or whatever, right? But if I'm on the phone and I'm trying to get a deal on a car or something, and I'm speaking to a car salesman, and you could ask him for things in your head voice, and you could use your head voice for the call. You wouldn't forget, like, I'm on the call and then like slip into like your, you know, hey Sal, your hey Sal voice. You're not just gonna slip back into it because you're just accessing a voice that is very easy for you to access up here in your head voice, right? It's just a couple registers up. You're going from down to up, and now you're up here. And then while you're up here, you can be using some more of that chest to make that louder, or you can really let go of the chest voice and really just have everything be up here in the head.
My name is Meghan Markle, and I'm here because I think it's a really important campaign to be a part of. For me, I think it hits a really personal note. I'm biracial. Most people can't tell what I'm mixed with, and so much of my life has felt like being a fly on the wall.
Right? I believe that life should be a level up journey. And one of the things that I've learned, people are not gonna teach you the real secrets to leveling up, right? The real secrets to finding something that you can access to get you into a better position in life. There's always been this sort of dialogue around the issue of the Black voice and what is Black enough. And people will say, if you speak proper, and whatever that means, right? You're not Black.
And you ain't Black.
We have to undo the indoctrination that teaches us that language should be limited in any way. Right? And a lot of the most successful people out there are people who do not limit themselves in their expression with language and words. Your voice comes into play the moment you open your mouth, right? The moment you open your mouth, someone says, she from Louisiana, right? Right? She from the South, right? Or maybe she's from California. And then when you have like Black girls from California who are like talking to you guys, and then you guys are like, you sound like a white girl. And it's like, no, it's actually like in California, people aren't like bumping into you in the street. I'm like, taxi cabs passing you by in the rain like you have in New York. And that's why, you see what I'm saying? That California voice, and people go to school and study this. A lot of actors that you've watched and know and love, right? A lot of times they're from different parts of Europe that you haven't heard of, but they're playing American characters and they're using American voices. You go to school and you study how to speak. And if they can do it for hours and hours and months and, you know, in days and weeks and months on end, playing a character, you can do it for 2 hours for a phone interview. You see what I'm saying? People will judge you immediately on your voice. And so you want to show people that you're working with a wealth of information. The level up has been in the education process. And that doesn't mean just a formal education. In educating yourself about what you're doing so that you can learn what you need to know to get to where you want to be, right? is say, okay, where am I from? I'm from a place where people's gosh darn it, Cersei. I'm from an area in the United States where people's voices can tend to be very nasally. They'll talk up here. A lot of times they'll be talking up here, right? Very nasally in here, right? I'm going to the bar, I'm going to the car, right? I'm gonna be a star. That's a part of understanding, okay, so in this area where I'm from, people say words a certain way. And if I want to present more worldly, I will learn a more neutral way of speaking and saying things so that I can present in a more worldly way and so that I'm not as easily identifiable, right? Those are called regionalisms. We go to college and we sit and we argue for like a month straight about whether it's pop or soda. Is it pop or soda, right? And it's like, that's a regionalism. That's a regionalism term. In some regions of the United States, people call it pop. In some regions of the United States, people call it soda, right? And then they'll switch between what they call Pepsi and, you know what I'm saying? Like all different types of things, right? That's just a regionalism. It's right depending on where you are. And then of course, you'll argue that based on even within New York State, right? Within New York State, some people call it pop, some people call it soda, right? People down toward the city tend to call it soda. And people in the more rural areas call it pop. Just to clarify right now, the answer is pop, all right? It's pop, it pops, all right? That's what it does, okay? Soda, yeah, okay, soda, okay. Yeah, that's what it is, it's soda. But when you want a soda, you say pop. So those are regionalisms that you can understand, right? Now, if I was at a restaurant with a guy that I was trying to impress or whatever, and he'd like, would you like something to drink? I would say, I'll have a soda. I wouldn't be like, I'll have a pop. I'm sorry guys, but that's just how it works. It's pop until it's time to pop, all right? And then it's soda, all right? That's regionalism. Again, this is part of the education leveling up process. The more you know, the more you can work with. The more you don't feel like, okay, everything has to be one big act. It doesn't have to be an act because you're constantly leveling up. You are constantly learning and growing. And that's what we do here on the Purpleprint, okay, with DanieSteel. Like I said, I've learned a lot of things, and I feel like I've learned a lot of things to play strong women characters. Why not translate what I've learned in those experiences to a larger picture, right? That people can really benefit from in a very productive way. In learning these things to play characters in acting, I learned from myself, right? So now you've identified the head voice, and the chest voice. And we've identified that we say things a certain way in certain places because that's a regionalism and that's how languages work. And that's just how it goes. But there are ways to say things that make it sound like you're more worldly and less just restricted, right, to the place you're from. Okay? And we can employ both of those things in code switching. It's something that we had to do as Black people. That is a part of the whole people judging based off surface things, but it's something that we have to employ based on the society that we live in. It's a very easy switch, and it makes all the difference. And I'm gonna wrap it up right here. There is so much to talk about, and I will be going a lot more into detail about these things on my Patreon. So definitely head over to there and check out the videos that I have there now, and definitely be ready for more videos like this to drop to use techniques and education and learning in the level up game. I think that understanding that there is a technical approach to things and that you don't have to be in the best mood to get the job done will make it a lot easier for you guys, wherever you want to go in life and however you want to employ these techniques. So thank you so much for watching, and stick around. We got more videos like this on the Purpleprint series. If you're interested in more, like I said, check out my Patreon. Don't forget to subscribe. We're trying to get to 5,000 subscribers. I know we can do it pretty easy, so let's hit the subscribe button and, help us out and join the Steely Squad, okay, over here. Part of the people that I think are really awesome. All right, join us, and I'll see you guys next time. Another key factor that I think is really critical and important to knowing where you're starting from with your voice is to record your voice. So you can do that with a tape recorder, an audio recorder, or your phone, right? And you can just simply record your voice, play it back, say a few things, maybe sing a song, and just see what it is you sound like. Most people will say, I hate my voice. And that's because you're just not used to hearing it, right? So record it, play it back for yourself a couple of times, and understand where you're coming from. And then you can employ the tactics and techniques that you need to get to where you want to be. So if you listen to your voice and you have a very nasally voice, or your voice is always in your chest voice and you want to work more with your head voice, right? If you want a softer, more feminine voice, all of those things can be worked on and adjusted, but you have to know where you're starting from. Again, you can use these techniques to get your voice to... You can use these techniques to get your voice more to a... Are you fucking kidding me? You can use these techniques to get your voice more to where you want it to be.